All right, the Christmas games started yesterday. Kansas City Chiefs 29-10 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, we will review these couple games and then get into the rest of the slate. First time we've ever really had to do this. Game got close at one point. Steelers got within 6, but never really felt all that close. The Chiefs in control and maybe the best their offense has looked. I know a couple times this year we've said, hey, Chiefs offense finding their groove. But in particular, these last couple weeks, Marquise Brown is back, opening things up for guys like Justin Watson to get 2 catches for 60 yards, including a 49-yarder and a 21-yard touchdown. Patrick Mahomes finishing with 3 touchdowns, 320 yards in this one.
Yeah, there was definitely opportunities in the game, I think, for Pittsburgh to have made it a closer game. But the breaks kept going Kansas City's way, and eventually the Chiefs were able to ease away and make it a fairly comfortable game overall. I think the big picture takeaway, I mean, this entire day, right, the 2 games, it felt like kind of an exercise in contender versus pretender almost. Like this is the standard versus where you need to get to if you want to be the standard. And both Pittsburgh and Houston, I think, came up significantly short of what the standard is going to be. Now, the Steelers, I think, have demonstrated that they're at least capable of hitting that standard sometimes. They just didn't yesterday. And for the rest of the league, the rest of the AFC in particular, like you watch the Chiefs coming out of that game and you're like, oh man, they are potentially we're December the 25th, December the 26th now. That looks like they're flipping the switch, right? We're heading into, and now they've got themselves the number 1 seed. They've got themselves the rest week. They've got themselves the opportunity to put their feet up a bit and ease into the postseason. They got the extra week of rest, the extra week of not risking anything. But when other teams are playing a game, I mean, the Chiefs look formidable right now.
Yeah, they really do. And I said earlier, the offense is hitting their groove. The defense now, number 1 in the NFL in points per game allowed at 18. So they've just overtaken the Los Angeles Chargers by only giving up the 10 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense has done a really nice job this year, I think, cracking down, even if they've let teams into the red zone, cracking down, making life difficult. I think there's an offensive element to this, the slow ball control style that Kansas City's playing. They're playing complementary football at a high level, and I saw the stats going around about Patrick Mahomes getting rid of the ball quickly and everything. A huge factor that is, I think the Marquise Brown factor, right? You just have one extra guy to get open quickly. We see Travis Kelce with 8 catches for 84 yards. So you're right. This does feel like January Chiefs right now. I'll let you comment on that. And then I think we have to touch on the dynamic that the Chiefs are facing right now, where they've clinched the number 1 seed and they might not play another game until I think the weekend of January 19th or 20th, another significant game. So they tend to rest their starters, and it's like 3.5 weeks off if they really choose to sit Mahomes and some of those other starters.
2.33 seconds average time to throw for Mahomes in this game, which is like 0.2 faster than the week before where we were complimenting them for changing their game and getting the ball out quickly. I mean, that is how you take away the impact of a guy like TJ Watt and limit the Steelers' offense and not have, or defense rather, and not have them be massive factors in the game with what is arguably the best pass rush in the NFL. The best pass rush in the NFL didn't, create sacks, didn't create hits, didn't get many hurries. They weren't a huge factor because the ball was coming out so quickly. Huge part of that Chiefs game. And, I still think that offensive line is a potential problem, but they've shown the last 2 weeks that they are really good at being able to mitigate that with the game plan.
And they did all this yesterday without Chris Jones. So as I mentioned, defense number 1 in points per game allowed. Still played extremely well. Russell Wilson, red zone interception. Like you said, a couple times, if the Steelers were going to make a comeback, a couple big plays in there. But Russ throws a bad interception as they get into the red zone. Pat Freiermuth fumbles. Trent McDuffie with a nice job on a forced fumble. The offense for the Chiefs also had 2 short fields, one off a punt return, one off that fumble. So you're talking full complementary football, offense, defense, and special teams for the Chiefs dominating this one. As you said, looks like playoff Chiefs.
What did you make of the broadcast decision to effectively have a presence in the booth whose sole purpose seemed to be to point out individual TJ Watt wins?
Because we were doing Christmas stuff with the family, and my wife kept staring at me like, "Hey, it's Christmas Day," as I'm sitting on the couch watching. Didn't really have audio going. But I was in my head predicting JJ, ignoring anything bad that TJ did. I'm sure it was completely unbiased, though, JJ's analysis of TJ Watt Steelers.
It was more like, there's a play going on, and which Eagle was this one? The play-by-play guy, Noah or Ian?
Noah.
Anyway, the play happens, the play-by-play guy's finished, and then immediately J.J. Watt's going, it's coming back, holding on 74. It's like, because he's just, all he's looking at is T.J. Watt going up against Juwan Taylor every single snap, right? So that was J.J. Watt's primary contribution to the broadcast, was simply like almost a one-man play-by-play, Ian Eagle's taking the actual game, what's happening, and then J.J.'s just lasered in on Juwan Taylor versus T.J. Watt and telling you all the hidden stuff that you're not paying attention to.
Spotlight cam on TJ. All right, so let's just touch on this quickly. Chiefs lock up the number 1 seed. Historically, they do tend to rest starters. They did that last year. I think it was Blaine Gabbert got the Week 18 start last year. So they have Week 18, and then the wild card round. Plus, they played this game on Christmas, right, on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So you got this half. So you've got this extra rest going into Week 18. They have a history of sitting starters in Week 18. They'll have the wild card round off, and then the divisional round is not till January 19th is the Sunday. So it's like the 18th or the 19th. Unprecedented potential amount of time off for the Chiefs starters. Is that going to be, what we're looking at here? And, or are they actually going to try to, give them some reps maybe next week?
I would imagine them sitting them. Like, I don't think it's a massive deal. Like, for a team that we're talking about that does seem to have the ability to flip a switch when it matters, like, do we genuinely think that an extra week is going to cause them suddenly to be bumbling, rust-filled messes? No. So sit them.
College teams do this all the time. This is like bowl season, right? You play your last game at Thanksgiving, and then you show up on New Year's Day and play. It's like bowl season. Just a fascinating turn of events. And it also appears, once again, Chiefs are 1 game away from the AFC Championship every year since 2018. They've been there. Everyone except one has been in Kansas City. That's where it would be again. And now we're looking at the AFC, which does look top-heavy. Let's talk about the Ravens in 2 seconds here. Ravens back in control of the AFC North. The Bills looking really good. They appear to be on a collision course for a 2-versus-3 battle. The winner going probably to Kansas City. And I think a couple weeks ago, a Chiefs first-round matchup against the Chargers, the Broncos, the Texans, the Steelers. It looked like, hey, maybe somebody can compete. But as you said, contenders versus pretenders over the last couple weeks. I don't know if anybody's stopping the Chiefs from getting to the AFC Championship against either Baltimore or Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a couple of those AFC teams are looking a lot more damaged than they were a few weeks ago. I still think there are teams that can scare them, but yeah, like, I mean, the Texans, we'll get to them now, but they didn't look like they could bring it up to the Chiefs. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.